Welcome to the deep dive.
Yep.
You're here, I guess, because you want the quick version on the updated D&D 2024 Cleric class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no digging through rule books for hours. We're just going to hit the important changes, the new tricks, and, how to make this class really work for you.
That's basically the plan. You've probably heard stuff about the updated rules, and yeah, the Cleric got a pretty interesting refresh.
Okay.
So today, we're going to pull out the key insights from RPGBOT's guides, the 2024 Cleric class guide, and the subclasses guide. It's kind of your quick guide to the new Cleric.
Exactly. We're not going to get bogged down in tiny details, but we are unpacking the main shifts and what they actually mean for playing a Cleric now.
Right.
And yeah, both guides are from TTRPG Campster. If you're into character optimization, you probably know his work. Very thorough.
It really is. And what RPGBOT really hits home is that the 2024 Cleric. Still the backbone of the party, still the best healers, great support, utility, divination, all top-notch. But what's interesting is they've got even more potential now to dabble in offense or be more scholarly, even get up front and fight a bit.
Okay.
Though, probably not going to outshine a dedicated fighter or wizard at their own game.
Right, makes sense. So let's unpack that. A cleric's divine domain, that's always shaped their role, right? And sounds like that's even more true now.
Definitely amplified. But even before you pick your domain, there's this totally new thing at level 1. It's called Divine Order.
Divine Order. Okay, what's that about?
It's basically this choice you make right away. Protector or Thaumaturge. Protector leans more martial, gives you heavy armor proficiency, martial weapons too. And they get a flat +1 AC bonus right from level 1.
So if you picture your cleric in Clate Mail with a warhammer, this is it.
That's the idea, yeah. Although RPGBOT does point out something important. You get martial weapons, sure, but clerics don't get the new weapon mastery feature.
Oh, okay.
So that weapon upgrade, it's not as huge a power boost as it might seem at first glance.
Gotcha. So what about the other one? Thaumaturge.
Now, Thaumaturge, this is really interesting for basically any cleric. You get an extra cantrip, which is always fantastic for a caster.
Oh, it's useful.
And you add your wisdom modifier to Arcana and Religion checks.
Whoa, okay. That's huge. So your cleric can actually be good at religion checks now. And Arcana too.
Exactly. It makes them much better scholars, much more reliable for that kind of knowledge. It just feels incredibly useful for almost any cleric build.
So even with the Protector getting that +1 AC, it sounds like the Thaumaturge's versatility is just really, really appealing.
Pretty much. RPGBOT thinks that +1 AC probably isn't enough to stop a Thaumaturge from stepping into melee if they need to anyway.
Right.
So yeah, level 1, you're already making a big choice about your cleric's direction.
Okay, so we've got the basics. Versatile divine character, the new divine order choice set in the scene.
Yeah.
We know we're going to cover the updated features, the main changes from 2014, background, species, ability scores based on that order choice.
Skills, feats both origin and general ones.
Right, weapons, armor, maybe a little multi-classing talk, and then dive into the core subclasses: life, light, trickery, and war.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get into it.
All right, let's kick off with the basic class features for 2024. Hit points are still a D8, yeah.
Still D8. Standard for a full caster. Could feel a bit low if you're planning to be right up front.
But they can heal themselves, obviously.
They've got the best healing to back it up, so it's manageable.
And saves. Wisdom and charisma proficiency, that's really good, isn't it? Covers a lot of nasty spell effects.
Oh, absolutely. Really valuable saves. Defensively, they're pretty solid overall. Medium armor and shields give decent AC for most builds.
Unless you go Protector, then heavy armor.
Right. And weapons are simple weapons by default, but honestly, spells quickly become your main focus anyway.
True. Still no tool proficiencies, and only 2 skills from that limited list.
Yep, still the same there. The skill list is a bit tight.
Okay, spellcasting, still the core, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom-based, full caster.
Absolutely, and that ability to prepare any cleric spell each day, RPGBOT really emphasizes how flexible that makes them. More flexible daily than a wizard, in some ways.
Because the wizard needs their spellbook.
Exactly, and your divine domain adds to that, giving you up to 10 extra spells prepared automatically as you level up.
Really locks in that domain flavor.
Totally. And the cleric list itself, great divination, best healing, good buffs, debuffs, and iconic damage like Spirit Guardians. It's solid.
Plus, that little change, you can swap a cantrip when you level up now.
Yeah, nice quality of life improvement there. Always good to have flexibility.
Okay, back to divine order quickly. Protector.
Heavy.
Arch armor, martial weapons, more combat-ready feel, Thaumaturge, extra cantrip, Boost to Arcana Religion, more scholarly magic user vibe.
Yep, sets the tone right away. Now, Channel Divinity. This got some nice buffs.
More uses.
Up to 4 uses per long rest. And crucially, it recharges on a short rest now.
Oh, wow. Okay, that makes it much more accessible during the day.
Big difference. And there's a new default option for everyone, Divine Spark.
Divine Spark. Sounds powerful. What's it do?
You can use it to heal or deal radiant damage. It's 1d8 plus your wisdom mod, and the dice scale up as you level.
So like a ranged cure wounds, basically, as an action.
That's how RPGBOT puts it, yeah. And importantly, it's not technically a spell.
Yeah, so it doesn't interfere with casting a bonus action spell.
Exactly. You can Divine Spark and cast Healing Word or Spiritual Weapon in the same turn. Big boost to action economy.
Nice. And the other default is still Turn Undead, which could be kind of hit or miss depending on the game.
Still there, yeah. It can be amazing, can be useless. But it gets a nice upgrade at level 5, Seer Undead.
Seer Undead.
Instead of just turning them, if they fail the save against Turn Undead, they also take radiant damage. It's your wisdom modifier in d8s.
Okay, so it actually helps clear out weaker undead, not just scare them.
Right. Makes it more consistently useful for taking down mobs. And a neat detail, the new text says it affects undead of your choice.
Oh, so you don't accidentally turn your party's friendly skeleton.
Exactly. Good for mixed parties.
Okay. Subclasses domains, we'll get into those deeper later.
Yeah.
Light for healing, light for blasting.
Trickery for sneaky stuff, war for hitting things.
Right. So after Seer Undead at 5, next big thing is Blessed Strikes at level 7. Moved up from level 8, you said?
Yep, level 7 now. And it's a really key choice. Defines your combat style more.
The Divine Strike versus Potent Cantrips decision. This seems like a major fork in the road.
It really is. Divine Strike adds 100d8 radiant or necrotic damage when you hit with a weapon attack.
Okay.
And this is important that 1d8 doesn't scale up anymore just from this feature. And RPGBOT's analysis, pretty clear that cantrips will usually do more damage anyway. Plus, you need strength or dexterity for weapons, which pulls away from wisdom. He thinks maybe only War Domain really makes Divine Strike tempting, maybe with Shillelagh.
So Divine Strike is niche. What about Potent Cantrips?
Potent Cantrips just makes your damage cantrips more reliable. They add your wisdom modifier to the damage, it leans into the caster roll, keeps your basic magic relevant.
Makes sense. Okay, level 10. Divine Intervention. Sounds like this got a serious buff.
Huge buff. You can basically ask your god to cast almost any cleric spell, 5th level or lower, as an action.
Any spell, even if you don't have it prepared.
Yep. And the best part, no material components needed.
Whoa, so you could just pop a Raise Dead mid-fight?
Right.
Or Hallow?
Exactly. Once per long rest, but the potential is incredible. Game-changing moments.
That is seriously cool. Okay, higher levels. Level 14, Improved Blessed Strikes, tied to the level 7 choice.
That's right. If you took Divine Strike, the extra weapon damage goes up to 2d8.
Still probably less than cantrips by then, though.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah.
RPGBOT points out cantrips are probably doing 3 dice of damage by level 14, so weapon attacks still might lag behind.
And if you took Potent Cantrips.
Then Improved Blessed Strikes gives you temporary hit points whenever you damage something with a cantrip, equal to your wisdom mod, so probably like 5 temp HP.
And they last.
Doesn't say. Suggests they last until a long rest. RPGBOT jokes about finding some rats to zap before a big fight to get those temp HP.
Huh. Classic pre-buffing. All right, level 20. The Capstone. Greater Divine Intervention. This has got to be big.
It is. When you use Divine Intervention, you can choose to cast Wish instead of a lower-level cleric spell.
Wish? Okay, wow.
Yeah, the most powerful spell. Replicate almost any other spell. Warp reality. The usual Wish stuff.
They catch.
There is. If you use it to cast Wish, your Greater Divine Intervention goes on cooldown for 2d4 days.
Ah, okay. So it's powerful, but not something you whip out every single day. Still, access to Wish. Wow.
Immense potential, yeah.
So quick recap of the big changes from 2014. Divine Order at 1, Cantrip swapping, more Channel Divinity uses, Divine Spark, Seer Undead adding damage, Blessed Strikes choice at 7, Better Divine Intervention at 10, Improved Blessed Strikes at 14, and Wish at 20.
That covers the highlights, yeah. Feels like they streamlined things and added meaningful choices.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift gears. How do these changes affect character creation? Starting with backgrounds.
Right. Since wisdom is key, RPGBOT says look for backgrounds giving a wisdom boost. Constitution is also really good, especially for melee types.
And skills. Perception's always good.
Yeah.
Right? Arcana for Thaumaturgus.
Exactly. Wisdom skills generally. Acolyte has good skills, but Sage offers maybe better ability scores, and Magic Initiate Wizard for ranged builds.
Farmer gives good stats and HP, but weak skills. Guard looks great for frontliners, yeah.
Definitely. Guide is also excellent for melee, boosts Conwis, and you can grab Shillelagh with Magic Initiate, Druid. Skills aren't amazing unless you're trickery and want stealth.
Hermit. Decent stats, mass skills. Healer feat isn't great for clerics.
Right. Sage, we mentioned, great stats. Okay, skills. Magic Initiate Wizard is tempting for Firebolt or Shield.
Sailor. Decent stats for melee, one good skill. Cavern Brawler is useless. Scribe and Wayfarer seem good for trickery builds.
Yeah, especially if you maybe grab the skilled feat for Thieves' Tools with Scribe.
Mm-hmm.
So main thing is aligning the background with your build and divine order.
Makes sense. What about species? What traits are good for a 2024 cleric?
Depends on the role, RPG BOT says. Frontliners want durability. Trickery wants skills, maybe stealth. Casters might like extra spells.
Aasimar sounds good. Resistances, dark vision, a heal, combat transformation.
Oh,
Could mix that with Spirit Guardians.
could be potent, yeah. Dragonborn offer dark vision resistance, flight once a day. Breath weapon fades a bit later on.
Dwarves are tough for melee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dark vision, poison resistance, extra HP. Tremor sense may be less needed with spells.
Probably. Elves give dark vision and extra skill and access to non-cleric spells. Drow get fairy fire. High elf gets a wizard cantrip. Wood elf gets pass without trace.
Gnomes seem strong defensively. Dark vision, gnomish cunning for advantage on mental saves versus magic.
Yeah, gnomish cunning is amazing, especially with high wisdom and proficiency. Hard to fail those saves, plus extra utility cantrips.
Goliaths,
Yeah.
teleport damage reduction. Other stuff seems less cleric-y.
Mostly damage focused, yeah. Large form is neat for Spirit Guardians range, maybe? Halfling's lucky is always good. Brave less so with good whist saves.
Humans, skill and a feat, always solid. Orcs. Adrenaline rush for positioning Spirit Guardian sounds interesting. Plus, temp HP and relentless endurance.
Surprisingly resilient, yeah. Tieflings offer dark vision, fire resistance, innate spells, some useful options, even if not cleric spells.
Lots of good options depending on the build. Okay, ability scores. Wisdom is king. What else matters for Protector versus Thaumaturge?
For Protector, strength needs to be 15 for heavy armor, don't need much more. Dexterity, dump it. Constitution, high priority for HP and concentration.
Intelligence and charisma.
Dump them. Unless you have a very specific concept, they don't do much for a Protector.
Okay. Thaumaturge.
Strength is the dump stat here. Dexterity. Aim for 14 and max out medium armor AC, Constitution. Still good for HP and concentration.
Intelligence and charisma have more potential here.
Yeah, in skills are more relevant, and charisma could work if you want to be the party face, since persuasion is a cleric skill.
So that level 1 choice really shapes your stats. Makes sense. Skills then, what are the key cleric skills?
History is useful, but maybe skip if someone else has it. Insight is great with high wisdom, good even if you're not the main face.
Medicine, still bad.
Pretty much useless, yeah. Magical healing is way better. Persuasion is vital if you are the face. Skip otherwise. Religion is the perfect thematic knowledge skill.
And thaumaturges add wisdom to religion checks, so that's a must-take for them.
Absolutely. Easy choice there.
Okay, skills sorted. Feats? Everyone loves feats. What are the big ones for the 2024 cleric? Let's start with origin feats.
Alert is great, especially for controllers. Get those Spirit Guardians up fast. Crafter, not so useful. Healer feat, surprisingly weak for a cleric. Healing spells are better.
Lucky is always good. Magic Initiate? Huge potential, right? Druid for Shillelagh, Wizard for Firebolt, Shield Familiar.
Definitely game-changing options there. Musician is okay for support. Savage Attacker? Nope. Skilled is decent, maybe for trickery needing more skills. Tough. Always good to have more HP.
Okay, general feats. Crusher. Maybe if you hit things often. Dual Wielder. Nah. Durable. Cast Healing Word.
Elemental Adept? Maybe for light domain and fire spells. Fey Touched. Excellent. Extra spells. Misty Step is fantastic.
Heavily armored. Just pick Protector or Dip Fighter. Heavy Armor Master. That sounds good for Protectors. Reduces damage. Helps concentration.
Yeah, especially good once Wisdom is maxed. Inspiring Leader gives lots of temp HP. Always nice.
Lightly, moderately armored. Martial Adept. Fighter Dip is better. Mage Slayer. Less needed with good Cleric saves. Medium Armor Master. Pretty bad.
Agreed. Observant is okay if your DM uses lots of stealth traps. Piercer Slasher, not enough weapon use. Resilient. Constitution, almost essential for concentration.
Warcaster is the other big concentration helper, plus opportunity attack spells.
Yep, Warcaster is top tier for frontliners. Reactive spells are great. Ritual Caster. Okay for some low-level utility like Find Familiar, but limited.
Sentinel. Warcaster's better. Shadow Touched. Decent. Invisibility is good, but Fey Touch spells are often better. Skill Expert. Expertise and insider perception could be nice.
Speedy helps with positioning. Spell Sniper. Few cleric spells use attack rolls. Telekinetic. Good for any caster. That bonus action shove is handy.
Can move allies, too, right? Telepathic is cool but niche. Warcaster again? Yeah, it's good. Weapon Master? Nah. Fighter dip?
Exactly. So focus on feats that boost casting, concentration, or offer key utility.
What about epic boons at level 20? Any standouts?
Boon of Combat Prowess is nice for War Domain. Boon of Dimensional Travel, free Misty Step when you cast a spell that's great mobility.
Boon of Energy Resistance is strong defense. Boon of Fate? Add or subtract 5 from a roll. Sounds powerful for saves.
It is, yeah. Boon of Fortitude. Resilient Con is better. Irresistible Offense, not enough weapon use. Boon of Recovery. Death Ward is better insurance.
Skill boon okay for small parties. Speed. Dimensional Travel is better. Spell Recall. Chance to keep a slot is okay. Night Spirit. Invisibility outside combat is neat. True Sight. Spells handle invisible stuff.
So Dimensional Travel, Fate, Energy Resistance look like strong early picks.
Okay, simpler stuff.
Yeah.
Weapons. Light crossbow or javelin might beat early cantrips. Mace is iconic.
Pretty much. Simple weapons do the job. Martial from Protector isn't a huge upgrade without weapon mastery.
Armor. Scale mail or chain mail starting out. Half plate is the medium armor max. Shield is almost always worth it. Full plate for protectors, ASAP.
Yep, standard stuff. Armor up as best you can for your build.
Multi-classing, briefly. Anything really tempting.
Artificer 1 gives con saves, but int requirement is tough. Barbarian. Doesn't mesh well. Druid 1 has synergy, Shillelagh Fairy Fire, but Magic Initiate might be enough.
Fighter 1 seems really strong, though. Con saves, heavy armor, shields, martial weapons, fighting style, weapon mastery, second wind. Better than Protector, even.
Often, yeah. Level 1 Fighter Dip is very efficient for a martial cleric base. Level 2 Action Surge is less good for casters.
Monk. Unarmored defense could work with high whiz decks. Bonus action attack is nice. Ranger. Probably get features elsewhere.
Rogue 1 or 2 is great for trickery expertise, cunning action. Sorcerer needs Cha. Wizard needs int hard stats to get for a cleric, usually.
So Fighter 1 and Rogue 12 seem like the most common strong dips.
Generally, yeah. Got a way delaying cleric progression, though.
All right, massive overview done. Let's zoom into the subclasses, starting with Life Domain, the ultimate healer.
Love Domain didn't change much mechanically, mostly just wording. But the context changed because Cure Wounds and Healing Word heal for more dice now.
Ah, so the base spells got better, making Life Domain even better at using them.
Exactly. Disciple of Life adds more bonus healing because the base healing is higher. Preserve Life is still great for AoE heals. Blessed Healer keeps you topped up.
And Supreme Healing maximizes healing dice.
Yeah.
Makes Cure Wounds super efficient.
Yep. RPG BOT says maximize Cure Wounds can often heal more than the heal spell per slot, unless you need the condition removal from heal. Low-level domain spells are still amazing. Bless, Cure Wounds, Aid, Lesser Restoration, Revivify.
So Life Domain is still the king of healing, maybe even more so now.
Pretty much solidified its role, yeah. Very potent healer.
Okay, opposite end. Light Domain, the Blaster Cleric.
Light Domain is great if you need divine damage filling that wizard gap. Domain spells are fantastic offensively. Fairy Fire, Burning Hands, Scorching Ray, Fireball, Wall of Fire.
Some spell changes there. See Invisibility instead of Flaming Sphere, Arcane Eye instead of Guardian of Faith.
Right. Radiance of the Dawn is still okay. AoE Radiant and dispels magical darkness, but damage doesn't scale great. Daylight Spell also handles darkness later.
Warding Flare, the reaction disadvantage can protect allies earlier now, level 3.
Yep, level 3 instead of 6. And improved Flare at 6 adds temp HP to the protected target.
Corona of Light at 17, the big damage boost. Still good.
Still amazing for empowering Fire Radiant spells, including Spirit Guardians, but now it's limited uses per day, equal to your Wisdom mod. Still want to pop it before fights if you can.
So Light Domain is maybe more versatile, support defense early. Still a great blaster, but Capstone has limited uses. Makes sense. Now, Trickery Domain. Sounds like this one got a huge makeover.
Huge GE changes. This is basically a new subclass, much more focused on stealth and deception.
How so?
Domain spells changed a lot. Mirror Image out, Invisibility in, Blindness Deafness out, Hypnotic Pattern in, Polymorph out, Confusion in. Big upgrades for stealth and control.
Wow. What else?
Blessing of the Trickster advantage on stealth checks now has 30-foot range, and you can target yourself at level 3. Perpetual advantage is amazing.
And Invoke Duplicity. The illusion.
No longer requires concentration. Massive buff. Still use it to cast spells from afar, grant advantage. But now it's always available.
That's incredible. No concentration.
Wow. Then at level 6, Cloak of Shadows is gone, replaced by Trickster's Transposition. Teleport. Swap places with your illusion. Great mobility.
Okay, this sounds really good. What about the level 17 feature?
Improved duplicity is totally different. Now, your duplicate gives you and allies advantage on attacks against enemies next to it. AoE advantage.
Oh.
And when the illusion disappears, you can heal someone nearby for a small amount, maybe even yourself if you're down.
This sounds way better. Like actually a viable stealth utility character, almost rogue-like.
Absolutely. RPGBO2 considers it a massive buff. Trickery is now a serious contender for that party role.
Okay, finally, War Domain. The Martial Cleric. How's looking?
Modest improvements. Still not really making weapons the best option, but better. Domain spells changed. Guiding Bolt replaces Divine Favor. Fire Shield replaces Stone Skin. Steel Wind Strike replaces Flame Strike.
Guided Strike Channel Divinity is still the +10 to hit after a miss.
Yep, still great for landing crucial hits. War Priest, the bonus action attack, now recharges on a short rest.
That's much better. Still MAD, though, needing Stratix for attacks.
Still the issue, yeah. Shillelagh helps, but uses the bonus action. But the level 6 feature changed significantly. War God's Blessing isn't a +10 anymore.
What is it now?
It lets you cast Shield of Faith or Spiritual Weapon a few times per day for free, without concentration.
Oh, free non-concentration spiritual weapon. That seems way better than relying on War Priest attacks.
Exactly. Make Spiritual Weapon a much more appealing bonus action. Avatar of Battle at 17 is still resistance to non-magical weapon damage.
So War Domain leans more into spellcasting support. Shield of Faith, Spiritual Weapon, rather than pure weapon focus, even with the War Priest buff.
That seems to be the takeaway, yeah. Still busy action economy, good support, and decent blasting, but not primarily a weapon user.
Got it. So across the board, some really interesting tweaks, especially that huge trickery rework really reinforces their different roles.
Definitely. The Cleric's versatility is stronger than ever, with more distinct paths right from the start.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the D&D 2024 Cleric. We've hit the core features, the big changes, character creation bits, feats, gear, multi-classing hints, and the 4 main subclasses, all drawing on RPGBOT's analysis.
Yeah, we covered Divine Order, Divine Spark, Seer Undead, the Blessed Strike's Choice, the improved Divine Intervention, and those subclass updates, especially Trickery's big jump.
And it really feels like the 2024 Cleric is just as versatile, maybe even more so, with clearer ways to build for different playstyles.
Which brings us to a final thought for everyone listening. Given the new Divine Order and Blessed Strikes, how would you actually build a more melee-focused cleric now? What challenges are still there balancing weapons and spells?
Or, on the flip side, with Trickery Domain getting such a boost, how does it really stack up against a dedicated rogue now in terms of scouting, utility, that kind of thing?
Some interesting builds to think about there.
Definitely good food for thought. We really hope this dive helps you out. Check out the full RPGBOT guides if you want even more detail, or just jump in and play a 2024 Cleric.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Hopefully it gave you a solid understanding of the new cleric landscape.